planning on stealing something?
No, ma'am, we're not.
Plan on murdering me in my sleep?
What? No. Where do you get off?
Just a couple of people who totally got off, bro.
Hey, show us your basement.
What? No.
Welcome to another episode of Show Us Your Basement. I am your host, Alberto. We're joined by Josh, Eric, Edgar. We're all here. We're all back.
The gang's all here.
The gang's all here. We're all here to record another episode. Thank you guys for tuning in every week. No, not every week, but tuning in every time we drop an episode. Really appreciate it. Really appreciate the support. All 20 of y'all who listen to the podcast, you are our most loyal of fans. And you know how you can be even more loyal is if you spread the word. Share this with your friends. Tell them that there's a new pop culture podcast that's called Show Us Your Basement. Don't give them any more information other than that. Tell them to tune in, and they'll be in for a ride. Just like tonight's episode, which is brought to you by Blue Chew. BlueChew.com. Go and get your subscription today. Get 10% off on the checkout page. Show us your blue is what the checkout code is. Josh, you have experience with Blue Chew. Go ahead and tell people why they should go with Blue Chew.
I'm like really stressed out right now because I have a feeling that there is something called Blue Chew, and they're going to send us a letter.
There is Blue Chew, but you know what? It's fine. At some point, we'll get it. We'll get like a
sponsor.
Is it really a Blue Chew?
Yep.
Is there really?
It's where you're.
No, you'll have Josh figure that out for himself. I think that'll probably be.
I'm gonna Google it right now. What is this?
Yeah, go ahead.
Blue Chew.
Yep.
Where did that come to mind?
What do you mean? Like how they invented the product? Or?
No. To your brain.
To my brain? I don't know. That's just something that's just.
He literally popped one in. Like,
Yep.
You know, that's how he gets excited for this podcast.
This is how I get excited for the podcast. Yep.
No energy drinks for Alberto. It's Blue Chew.
It's Blue Chew all the way, baby. That's what I get ready for. Show Us Your Basement.
He's rock hard right now.
Okay, that's TMI. That's TMI. All right.
According to this advertisement, very, very hard. Is what
Well, I'm very hard for this topic that we have prepared for tonight. Josh, you have prepped a topic for us to talk about that I'm very interested to get into. So I'll let you go ahead and take it from here. Go ahead. Go ahead, Josh.
Yeah, I don't think we really do a good job, talking too much about directors in general. So in the light of greatness, right? In the last decade, Christopher Nolan is Show Us Your Greatness. Meaning that he is the greatest director. He's the number one director. He can do no wrong.
Whoa.
In the last 10 years. And that there's nobody close to what he's accomplished. I want you guys to sit on this, think about this, and argue, is this true or is this not true? And then before you guys, I want you guys to continue to think about this, but before we talk about this, in the last 10 years, this is what this man has done. Okay. I'm going to throw in Interstellar, because it was in the cusp of 2015, end of 2014. Dunkirk, Tenet, Oppenheimer. Before that, he did The Dark Knight Rises, Inception, The Dark Knight, Prestige, Batman Begins, Insomnia, Memento.
But we're not counting these.
But I don't want to count those, right?
Right.
I want to count more of Interstellar, Dunkirk, Tenet, Oppenheimer, and now we have the Odyssey right around the corner as well.
This is tough for me because I really love Interstellar. That is probably my favorite movie of all time. The visual effects are still outstanding to this day. The music is fantastic. The story, I really connect with. I enjoy it. But I have to disagree. I don't think that Christopher Nolan is the greatest director in the last
Leave it at
decade.
that. Leave it at that.
Okay, I'll
I
leave it
want
there.
to hear from other people,
Okay,
and then
that's fine.
And so you would say he's basement compared to who you're thinking of.
Yes,
Okay,
yes.
Edgar, what are your thoughts?
I have to agree with Albert on this one too. Interstellar is one of his best work. I think that's his magnum opus. I think. The rest is just you really have to be in it. If not, like you're gonna be lost. You're not gonna know what's gonna happen. What's going on with the story.
Mm.
Some of his movies are like a very slow burn, and that's like a how do you say a
Hard to get into.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
Does that make it a bad movie though? If it's slow burn, is Heat a bad movie because it's a slow burn?
And that's different. We can talk about that later.
I think Heat has better pacing.
Yeah.
Way better pacing.
I disagree. I think it's a slow burn as well, but I don't think it ruins the movie. Is The Godfather discredited a little bit because it's a slow burn? I don't know. Just food for thought. I'm just challenging the question. You know,
Eric.
Josh, I really actually like what you just said about supporting a slow burn. I think you're on point with The Godfather, right? This one's tough for me, though, with Christopher Nolan. And it's not really about the slow burn. I understand the slow burn dynamic. I'm a little all over the place with Christopher Nolan. I do agree what Edgar said. I think Interstellar is his best work by far.
I think we can all agree with that.
It's a long movie. His movies are long.
Yeah, they are.
Also going to go to kind of what Albert said, though. You have to really be locked in on the movies. You have to be. They are of a very acquired taste. And if you're not locked into it, you're gonna phase out quick. And it's happened to me a couple times. I couldn't quite grasp Tenet, so I gave up on it. And just because I gave up on it doesn't necessarily mean I'm saying it's a flaming pile of shit or in the basement. It just was hard. I was like, I can't follow it right now. I just didn't have the patience at the time. I think you're seeing some cracks a little bit in the Dark Knight trilogy. Again, love the trilogy. I like watching it, right? But you can see
So
some
let's keep
cracks.
it in the last decade because I do want to actually ask another question in his entire career, take it to the next step. But let's keep this in the last decade.
Okay.
As of right now. Sorry about that, Eric.
Okay. You don't have to answer this, Josh, but is there a reason we're keeping it in the last 10 years?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Fair enough.
There's.
I'll ride with that. I didn't see Dunkirk, so I don't know about it. And I think the reason why I didn't see it was because I think I was worried about the length. The length of the movies worry me sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't see Oppenheimer for the same reason, you know. I didn't have any interest in it. Now, I'm curious because it is a Nolan film, obviously. But I think I've strayed away because I know his films are going to be very long. I do want to see the Odyssey. And I know there's a lot of like backlash because of some of the casting, and I think people are taking that way too seriously. Nobody was actually everybody that exists now would not have a clue who looked like what, however long ago that was, right? So we don't really know, right? We can kind of guess, but we don't really know. It's like trying to predict it's like, what do the dinosaurs look like? I don't know. I'm torn. I'm gonna say he's not.
Okay.
Why do you think he's greatness, Josh?
I didn't say he was greatness.
You
Just
did.
asked
Not
the
even.
question.
He said, "Is he?"
I said, is he greatness? But,
Is he?
since you asked me, I do think he is greatness.
So okay,
I do.
so yeah,
So you got it right.
Yeah, you still got it right. Then.
Yeah, right. Yeah. I didn't say he was at the time, but yes, I'm going to tell you right now.
Okay, but please explain.
I think with what he brings to the table and the ability of giving everybody their moment to shine on the screen, being able to tell a story, not able to just tell something that is dramatic, but do sci-fi, right? To do a military, like something like Dunkirk, right? A war movie, war history movie. To go back into sci-fi. I haven't seen Oppenheimer. Unfortunately, it's on my list, but I haven't watched it as of yet. But the guy can cook. The guy can work, right? And he's done just about everything except comedy, which he probably never will, which I totally understand. It's not his style. But yes, he does do lengthy movies, but he's also able to really keep you in the movie. And he proved that in even previous movies as well. Tenet was a hard watch. It was the most difficult movie to watch, I think, next to Memento. But if you give it another shot, it's such a good movie, and it's beautifully well done. And it actually reminded me a lot about Memento in a lot of ways. But yeah, it's the way that everyone shines in the spotlight, the dialogue, character development, being able to slow burn a movie and still keep you engaged, as lengthy as it is, shows that he is also a great storyteller as well. And to me, that shows that he's also a very old school director, and he pays homage to a lot of old films like Heat and also Godfather as well. So I'll leave it at that. So my question is to you three is, if he isn't greatness in the last decade, then who tops Christopher Nolan? And I'll start with Alberto.
Well, I'm glad you asked, Josh, because I was sitting on this since we last spoke about it. And I think there is one director that outshines Christopher Nolan, especially in the last decade. Now, granted, this director has only made 5 films in total, but I would say that his filmography, all of them have been critically acclaimed. And that's Ryan Coogler. I think Ryan Coogler is greatness compared to Christopher Nolan, especially in the last decade. Reasons for that? Michael B. Jordan's best work came from a Ryan Coogler movie. Chadwick Boseman's most defining role came from a Ryan Coogler movie. Sylvester Stallone's best acting in decades came from a Ryan Coogler movie. Creed resurrected a franchise and pioneered what other franchises would then go on to do, which is resurrect those said franchises. Ryan Coogler did that. Black Panther was culturally impactful, felt by the entire world. This is before Avengers Infinity War, by the way. That movie earned fucking billions. It made people go out and watch the movie. And you can say what you want to say about Black Panther. You can say it's basement. You can say it's greatness. But when I think about who a greatness director is, I think about what they did for the culture of filmmaking. And Ryan Coogler has a batting average of just making fucking bangers, man. Even the ones that are not that great, that you could say are like, I don't know, they're kind of still pretty well reviewed.
I think that's a hell of an argument, because when you look at his filmography, Fruitvale Station, I'll throw that in there, 2013.
But yeah,
Okay.
we can throw that in there. That's fine.
Yeah, Creed, Black Panther, Wakanda Forever, and Sinners.
Come on. Those are all great movies, man. All great movies.
I would argue and I would say that Black Panther is overrated. Wakanda Forever was a much better movie, in my opinion. Creed also isn't as original, but he was able to also elevate. So
Yeah.
I do appreciate that as well.
I would throw the
So-
same argument you said about Slow Burn with it being original. Does original mean it's bad?
I don't.
You
That's
know?
a good point.
I think
I
it's-
don't disagree with that.
I think it's refreshing. I think it's a refreshing take on the franchise. Even if it's not original, even if it's predictable, you can see where it's going to go. Man, does it have fucking heart. Man, is the music real
don't disagree
good.
with
You know what I mean?
I
Like,
don't disagree with that.
so that'd be my counterpoint. I think Ryan Coogler is better than Christopher Nolan. You know? What do you think? Do you agree? Do you have a director in mind?
I do.
Who's that?
He's gonna throw you off, all you guys. And his name is Ben Stiller. You know what? Just kidding.
I was actually going to be like, let me hear you out. Ben Stiller? Okay, all right.
No. You gotta help.
Thunder.
You gotta help me out with this one because there's a lot of fucking Andersons out there. He's the one who won the best film of the year. Isn't it Paul Wes Anderson?
I mean, I think or something like that. Paul Anderson?
Look it up.
Let me
First
look.
off,
You talking about?
we're actually going to move on from Edgar because you got to know the director's name.
I told you there's a
Or
whole
say
bunch of
that.
Andersons out there, though.
There's a good point. Hold on.
We're
Paul
just going to go to Eric.
Paul T. Anderson. Paul
Yeah.
Thomas Anderson. You're
Okay,
talking about
so,
him, right?
Yes.
But how many movies of his have you seen in the last decade?
Oh, pretty much all of them, dude.
You haven't seen one battle after another?
Well, not that one.
All right, well then.
Josh hasn't seen last year's best film of the year too.
He's also
Oppenheimer.
he's not seen Oppenheimer, which is
That's what I'm saying. That was the last year.
crazy.
I've seen every Christopher Nolan movie except Oppenheimer. I'm sorry.
Because I was gonna say, I think Oppenheimer is pretty overrated. I saw that movie. Don't care much for it. I really don't care much. I think that was a whole. I think that was just his. He just wanted to make an atomic bomb on screen. Let's be fucking for real here. Like, all-star studded cast, and he barely used any of it.
You know what? That's what he's known for, right? The casting, his trailers, and all that, right? Leading up to his film. And what Josh said, he does have a unique style and taste of films. He does pay a lot of homage to the old school, like Casa Bonita and all those type of films, right?
Casa Bonita.
Yeah, Casa Blanca. Sorry,
What the fuck? Casa Bonita?
yeah, but
Are you okay, Edgar? You don't know what Anderson you're talking about. You know what fucking house you're talking about.
yeah. But you
So,
know
so
what?
I'm gonna challenge you a little bit, Edgar, and this isn't to kind of like poke at you or anything like that.
Go ahead.
So one battle after another. I haven't seen that, but I've heard that it was great. It won Best Picture. But did you see Forest Pizza?
Oh, I did on Netflix.
Oh, Licorice Pizza?
yeah.
Licorice Pizza.
Yeah.
Thought I'd butcher it. Okay.
That
Have you
was-
seen? How was it?
That was all right. You have to have a no, for real. It was okay.
Yeah.
You have to have a unique taste to it. It has its own sense of humor. You gotta it's not everyone's cup of tea. That's why I say it was all
Have
right.
you seen Phantom Thread?
Sorry.
Have you seen Phantom Thread?
No.
Okay, Edgar, then you can't make
Have you
this
seen
argument.
Have you seen Junon?
Yeah.
Have you seen Inherent
Inherent
Vice?
Vice, yeah. With Joaquin Phoenix. And I think that's one of his best work. Is that one? That one's underrated. I feel.
So that was his last movie from 2014. So we're going over a decade, right? And the two other movies that I mentioned,
Mhm.
right? You know, I haven't really heard much about him. They're rated okay, right? Seven out of 10. That's not bad. I'll say that's good, right?
I'm
But
surprised.
when I look at his filmography, he's done 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16
Edgar,
music videos.
I'm gonna call you out here, Edgar. I'm surprised you didn't use your boy Bong Joon-ho. Mickey 17, Parasite, Snowpiercer,
Oh yeah.
Okja,
That's a good one.
and that's in the last decade. Why didn't you go with that director? You use fucking Paul Thomas Anderson? You
I would argue and I would say he's not on the topic of greatness.
I don't think so at all. And we're gonna come back to you because we're gonna give you a second chance to come up with a better answer.
Okay.
All right?
Go ahead.
Your headspace, you're somewhere else. Eric, you've been listening to us all talk. You obviously think Quentin Tarantino, Christopher Nolan is not greatness, especially for the last decade. Who is topping Christopher Nolan?
I must admit that I'm not as in tune with tracking directors and their filmography.
All right.
But what I will say is, now that I've listened to everybody talk about this, Christopher Nolan's filmography and his reach and how many he's done in the last 10 years certainly surpasses many other directors. Everybody that was just mentioned, right? Ryan Coogler's a good case. It's a smaller sample size.
Mm-hmm.
It's a very good sample size. Very good. I think you do make a great case for him. Could you go make a case for Ben Affleck? No, not yet. But I think he could get there. He's got some good movies that he's directed. Not enough in the last 10 years.
So Ben Affleck
Same with
or
John
Ben
Favreau.
Stiller? Oh,
Probably
John
not
Favreau.
enough.
You would put Ben Affleck as a great director. You put him on that list.
I think he's got some good films. I just not enough though. He doesn't have enough, right? So it's not enough. And John Favreau, same thing. Just not enough quite there. There's some good ones. Okay. Or you're mentioning the last 10 years. And I'm going to have to circle back and say, maybe rescind what I said about Christopher Nolan.
Oh.
When you look at the wealth of options that he has created. And Josh made a very good point. He's a storyteller.
Mm-hmm.
You have to be dialed in. You have to be present in his storytelling.
Mm-hmm.
That's what makes it tough because you're in for a long story. Some of his earlier work that exceeds, or I should say that goes beyond the 10 years. His earlier films were shorter, like Memento, The Prestige, but very good. I think they were probably a little more digestible.
Mm-hmm.
But as he has evolved and progressed, he has become very advanced with his storytelling. He's also leaned on a lot of practical effects, not entirely, but he leans towards a lot of practical effects, which enhance a lot of his movies for the most part. So, I think Martin Scorsese's kind of an old schooler, hasn't done as much in the last 10 years, right? Steven Spielberg, same thing, hasn't done quite as much in the last 10 years. He doesn't have to because the guy has had an outstanding career.
Yeah.
I think if we were looking at it further, I would probably go Spielberg without a doubt, but not in the last 10 years, though, to Josh's point. So I think I'm going to flip, because getting touched up on some, James Wan, same thing. He's had some really good films, but I don't think it's quite adds up to Nolan. And so I do think Nolan in the last 10 years is by far, when you look at it now, after opening up this discussion, I just think you just start ripping off the titles. You know exactly who it is. That's the thing about Christopher Nolan. When he does a film, you know who it is. I bet you people that are not, they're just kind of neutral. They don't really care about reading deep into it. They know who Christopher Nolan is. It's like you hear the name Michael Jordan. You know who he is. Doesn't mean you know anything about him or that you watched basketball, but you know who he is. So Christopher Nolan is on that level, right? Steven Spielberg's been on that level. So I think that Nolan is more on that Spielberg plane now, in terms of the guy that is just, he's taken it up a notch in terms of his product and what he creates and gives to you. Some of it's hard to watch, though, because of the length, and it's a very acquired taste. Like Tenet is an acquired taste. It just is. I think Interstellar is an acquired taste.
I agree with that.
So, even his version of the Dark Knight trilogy, that is an acquired taste for the comic book universe. They're not like the MCU. They are not like what we're seeing out of the more recent DC EU films. They're very different. So,
but didn't the Dark Knight change the world of comic book movies? If you think about it.
So are we? Hold on, I'm confused, because now are we going back more than 10 years?
Kind of are.
Are we?
No, we are. I don't want to
to
get there yet. I don't want to. Yeah, I want to hear from Edgar. Are you ready, man? Or what are your thoughts, man? I want to give you your spotlight.
Well, Albert named a good one. Hold on, I just had the director I was looking for. Hold on. And this one actually, from the we're doing a decade, right? To me, has a good filmography, and he touched every genre, in my opinion.
You comedy?
Yep. And you'll when I say his name and the movies, you're gonna say okay.
Okay.
Can you say before I butchers
Kim Ji-woon?
Kim Ji-woon? Okay.
Kim Ji-woon. All right. Okay.
So he A Tale of Two Sisters. That's a good one. That's an underrated horror film.
Okay.
I Saw the Devil.
When did these movies come out?
Okay, hold on. A Bittersweet Life. I Saw the Devil. The Good, the Bad, and the Weird. The Age of Shadows, Cobweb, and the Last Stand, and The Wolf Bridge. And his latest one was Cobweb.
Cobweb, is that the horror one with Anthony Starr?
No, it's another one.
Oh, okay.
Those,
Is that who you're stamping your flag on?
yes.
And saying?
As with Christopher Nolan, he just sticks to like what action and thriller and mystery. As with this director, like I say, he touched every genre: horror, thriller, action, comedy.
Okay.
To me, like I said, his filmography for me is like great. There's not one film that I seen from his was like, this shit sucked or it wasn't so good. Each one I was happy and like, okay, this is great. I like this, and the movie that I just watched, type of thing.
Okay.
So
that's who you're saying is better than Christopher Nolan.
yeah.
I would argue, and I would say Bong Joon-ho is a much better director.
I would say that.
Who are stepping to Korean.
If we're going, but you know what? You know what? That's a better choice than Paul Thomas Anderson. I will give you.
I told
that.
you there's a whole bunch of Andersons out there. Dude.
I know. I understand that. It's just for that to be the first one off the top of your head, and then you only seen honestly two movies.
I said, okay,
but
go ahead.
I would argue, unfortunately, like like I see your guys' points. You guys make compelling arguments, but going back to like Ryan Coogler, I don't think he has too much on his belt. Unfortunately, I do feel like Creed, Black Panther 1 and 2, it's low hanging fruit. I think you're going to get a lot of praise for doing movies like that, especially in the high of Marvel Studios, right? But not as original as what Christopher Nolan was able to do in the last decade, right? And unfortunately, Korean foreign films to me are not as well versed, and that's an extremely high acquired taste, really, because I bet you if you went up to 25 people and you asked them about those movies, they probably only heard of one, and it's I Saw the Devil, unfortunately. And they don't even know who the director is. Whereas to what Eric was saying was, if you just say Christopher Nolan, everybody immediately knows who that is. The man has stamped his name on anything and everything that he has already touched.
But wait, let's say if you say that, what they're going to say? Oh, the Batman guy. They're not going to say his other film. Oh,
that is true.
And
I think he's more known for his
Batman.
his Batman movies.
You're really gonna. They're not gonna.
Nope.
Majority of the people that are out there state Interstellar is one of the greatest movies of all time.
I mean, I agree. I agree.
That is like on top 5 list.
Right.
No, get out of here. No, I disagree with that.
Nope.
Okay,
I stamp mine shit too, Josh.
I would like to. I would like to throw in an alternative. I'd like to throw an alternative to Ryan Coogler, because I think what Eric was saying was, I agree with him. It is a very smaller sample size as compared to Christopher Nolan. It is a good sample size, though, as Eric said. But if I were to be like, okay, fine. If we're talking about like how many movies in the past 10 years, and then it also has to be movies in the past 10 years that are good, I have another one for you. Josh, that I'm going to throw in there. Denis Villeneuve, the director of Dune. Dune Part 2.
I was hoping somebody would have said this.
Prisoners, Enemy, Sicario. The list goes on and on. Arrival,
Blade Runner,
Now, this is someone I think who can rival Christopher Nolan in terms of scale.
I agree with you 100%.
In terms of scale, 100%. Production, I think he even surpasses Christopher Nolan in some of these elements. So that's who my alternative would be. If not Ryan Coogler, it would be Denis. He's a fantastic fucking director.
I 100% agree with that.
I agree too.
Actually,
you're with Boom Jong-Hoover. You're with the fucking Andersons over there.
Yeah. Go buy my Andersons, okay? The tag team right here.
Oh, Jesus.
Okay, go ahead.
I think that would be, because I mean, look, if I were to choose one director, I'm still going Ryan Coogler. I'm still stamping my flag on Ryan Coogler. But my alternative would be Denis. But the only reason why I'm not choosing him is because there are some movies I have not seen of his, including Enemy, including Prisoners. I have not seen Arrival. But the movies I have seen from him, fucking fantastic, man. Like, the cinematography alone in Dune Part 2, Josh, you can agree to this, is just fucking breathtaking, man. Like, and we don't know what Odyssey is going to look like in terms of like how faithful it is to the book, but Dune Part 2 and Dune Part 1, it feels like he ripped those images from the pages and just plastered it on the screen.
So I have seen Enemy. I have seen Prisoners, Sicario, Arrival, Blade Runner 20. I've seen every movie, actually. And I would argue and I would say that he is on par or close to being Christopher Nolan.
Why is he not surpassing him?
I just don't think he has enough on his belt.
What?
Can I ask a question?
Go ahead.
Do you think you can make that assessment even though you've seen more of his filmography than Christopher Nolan's in the past decade.
Damn. Mic drop.
I've only missed Oppenheimer.
But Oppenheimer's a pretty big one.
I've seen.
Oppenheimer,
know,
it
I
brought
know.
people to the
Don't
theaters
get me
again.
wrong.
You know what I mean?
Don't, think about that as well. I would make this argument if I leave the movie theater this feeling the same way how I felt with Dune 1 and Dune 2, with Dune 3. I will come back to this podcast and I will say that he has surpassed Christopher Nolan.
Can I ask you another hypothetical?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
If Odyssey came out on the same day as Dune Part 3, which one are you watching first?
I'm going to see Dune Part 3.
All right. That's not
I
to
want to,
yeah. That isn't to say like, oh, I got you. Like, no, I'm not trying to say that.
No,
I'm just curious.
I want to see the Odyssey.
Yeah.
I'm actually a huge fan of the story. I've been wanting this since Troy. You know, because they mention it. I don't know if you guys ever seen that movie, if you remember it.
I'm not.
But at the ending of
it, what you're saying.
There's an ending with the scene where he's like, you know, we don't need the gods. We did this on our own, and then they ship off, right?
This is
And then there was,
Sparta.
like,
Yeah, that's 300. Yep.
You know, yeah. So I've been wanting that story for a very long time, and I actually do trust that. There's like a certain level, like Christopher Nolan, when he came out with Memento, and then he came out with like the Dark Knight, like trilogy, let's say, and then Prestige, right? His movies right off the bat got bigger and bigger and bigger.
You're not saying better though.
And better.
Okay,
That's what I'm saying as well.
Okay,
Right? So he's delivered, you know. Now, unfortunately, I will say with Denis, is it Denis?
I think it is Denis. I'm not sure.
Yeah, sir, I'm so sorry if we butchered that.
Yeah.
If you're listening to us, you know,
Well, yeah, sure.
no disrespect. His movies were like really small drama type movies, you know, and until he did like, even Sicario wasn't really like, it was just drama. It was like, you know, nothing spectacular, right? But I would say like even then, like Blade is when he finally got big. And I feel like he figured out how to do sci-fi and CGI. And then he was able to take that and make it bigger with Dune. Like he had to cook a little bit. Whereas like Christopher Nolan was just hot right off the bat, you know, and his movies were able to get bigger. So, but yeah, I would definitely argue, and I would say, you know, he can suppress him with Dune Part 3.
Here's another
Eric,
one. No, go ahead.
Eric, you've been quiet. What do you think?
Eric, yeah.
I have to agree with that.
Blade Runner 2049 was one of my favorites.
What was that again?
Blade Runner 2049 is a massive upgrade to our boy Ridley Scott in his original film.
That movie was
good,
overrated, by the way.
It was great. It was a good movie. Great movie.
It was
For Ridley.
original Blade Runner was a little bit overrated, but go ahead. It was good. I liked
I'm
it.
just happy that he didn't do 2049. That's what I'm kind of getting at.
Great.
Sicario is a... Sicario chills you to your bones. That, you want to talk about capturing real events and trying to put that on screen. Uncomfortable. Just, ugh. Like, this is happening, you know? That's delivering a story that is very digestible into the real world. So I think Albert really pulled. I don't know why you didn't just start with that one, Albert.
I know. I should have.
Honestly, like, I mean, it's fine, but that is a massive. That is the closest. That he is the challenger to Christopher Nolan. I don't know if it's ever going to surpass, though, because I just think Christopher Nolan is on such a heater. Goes back to the storytelling. Like, he is about the fantasy, the stuff that you want to, I don't want to say check out, but you kind of want to immerse your mind into and imagine these things happening and living in a world of fantasy. He does capture it. And I just think it's so hard. Josh is right. He just like exploded. He came onto the scene. It was just like, The Prestige was kind of a underrated film at one point, but it's become just like this. Remember that movie, The Prestige? Like, oh yeah, we look back. And then Memento, kind of a mind fuck of a movie. He kind of pioneered a very unique taste of putting a story together like a puzzle piece and having you kind of guess to the end, right? So I don't quite think he's there, but you guys make a good, very strong case with the Dune trilogy, right? It's a huge trilogy. This is his Dark Knight trilogy.
Yeah,
So I want to take what you said. I want to piggyback your Christopher Nolan's comment. I want to now branch it to his entire filmography. Okay. Memento, Insomnia, Batman Begins, Prestige, Dark Knight, Inception, The Dark Knight Rises, Interstellar, and beyond. Okay. And I'm going to take us out of the core category. We're going to stop talking about greatness. But every one of these movies have been a banger. He doesn't miss. Is Christopher Nolan? You can nitpick, absolutely, but whether you like it or not, whether you believe it or not, he doesn't miss.
I think he misses. I think he does.
Is he the GOAT?
No. 100% no. I don't think he's the GOAT. I don't think he's the greatness from the last decade, much less the GOAT. Do you want to talk
Then who
about...
is
honestly, I know this is going to sound like a fucking cop-out, but since we're talking about, he came out hot out of the gate with a banger, I mean, fucking Quentin Tarantino, Reservoir Dogs. Talk about a fucking debut for a director. Like, changing the entire landscape of filmmaking with Pulp Fiction. Quentin Tarantino is the fucking GOAT. Talk about movies that no one like.
So Quentin Tarantino is the greatest of all time.
I think
Quentin Tarantino is the greatest of all time.
I know it's a cop out. I know it sounds like it's like, oh my
I don't think
God,
that's a
low hanging fruit. For some people it might, but I do think Quentin Tarantino he understands fucking cinema. He's one of the only, if not the only director that I feel was born to make fucking movies. You can tell it's in his DNA. I think he's the fucking GOAT. I think people will go to watch a Quentin Tarantino movie over a Christopher Nolan movie. I think so.
People will see Paul S. Anderson movie too.
No, they fucking won't, okay? There's a reason why it's always a film by Quentin Tarantino. You know what I mean? Django Unchained, The Hateful Eight, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood,
Glorious
Kill Bill
Bastards.
Volume 1 and 2. If you don't believe me that people will go to watch a fucking Quentin Tarantino movie, people flock to the theaters to go watch Volume 1 and 2 put together last year when it came out, like the what do they call it? The something cut or whatever, I forgot what it was called. Mm-hmm. Yeah, everyone went to go see that movie. A movie that came out fucking like a decade ago or so. People still go to watch Quentin Tarantino movies, despite him being controversial, despite there being a lot of shit about what he said, you know, in the press and in the media and everything. You can't deny he's fucking greatness. He is the GOAT. And Christopher Nolan, I don't think, is even in the top 5 conversation. I don't think he's in the top 5 conversation. James Cameron, Steven Spielberg, Quentin Tarantino, Martin Scorsese, and then I probably would put fucking like one of the newer ones like Ryan Coogler in there. In the top 5.
So you like Death Proof?
Death Proof is not bad. Even the movies that are like considered not as great, they're still good.
Once Upon a Time in Hollywood is good.
Fantastic movie, man.
Meet the fuckers.
You're on some other planet here. We're not talking about fucking Ben Stiller or some shit. Yeah, all these movies are fantastic. And they're great fucking screenplays too. That all these he wrote, didn't he?
Yeah, he did.
Christopher Nolan needs help when he. I'm not trying to throw shots at Christopher Nolan, but he has to adapt shit to make things good. Oppenheimer adapted that from a book. Odyssey, he adapted that from a book. The Dark Knight, he adapted that from graphic novels. Quentin Tarantino makes only original fucking movies, man. I'm sorry. What are the original Christopher Nolan movies? Memento, The Prestige.
I never said he
Inception.
was GOAT. First off, but
I know. I'm not trying to.
hearing.
I'm just trying. I'm trying to state my reason for why Quentin Tarantino's the GOAT. The only movies that Christopher Nolan has done that's original are the ones that are like a little bit divisive for some people. Tenet was one that he created, and look how fucking confusing that movie was.
Well, if you have a small mind, you're not going to understand it.
Do you understand it, Josh?
I had to watch it twice.
Do you
I
understand
did
it?
have to watch it twice.
But do you understand
I got it. Time
Okay.
travel of it. Yes.
Can you
yes.
please give me just like a one sentence of what's it about? Like,
I'm not here to argue that Quentin Tarantino is
Well-
not the GOAT.
well-
and Christopher Nolan is the GOAT. Okay, I never once said that.
okay,
Okay,
I'm
not
not
even gonna,
claiming you
like-
did. I'm not claiming you did.
you want
I
me to
do think-
argue it, right? But like Django Unchained is unfortunately a reboot of an original story.
How many people know that though? How many people know that though?
They know it because it's in the fucking commentary. They know it because he's actually said that
in the director's
He's talked
commentary?
about that. Yes,
Who's
he's actually talked
listening to
about
the
that.
director's commentary of these movies though?
Please, but I don't disagree with you as well because Reservoir is one of the greatest independent films of all time.
Yeah, it is.
It really is. I don't disagree with that. I think Pulp Fiction was beautifully well done.
The first
It was
Memento,
so
by the
great.
way.
It was so great.
Uh-huh.
Actually, it was nothing like Memento. Get out of here. That movie did not start from the end.
It kind of did start from the end though, didn't it?
Yeah, it did.
If you're going to compare it to another movie, it's going to actually, like, that's Sin City. Okay? His best friend, Robert Rodriguez, kind of had to actually
Okay, all right.
do what his friend did. Yes, it started with the end, but no, that's not the whole point of it.
All right,
There's
okay,
different
okay.
chapters.
I'm
to
reaching.
it,
I understand. Okay, I get it.
A little bit.
All right.
I'm curious to hear what Eric. has to
Yes,
say
let
real quick.
me. Okay, I said I rest my case. Go ahead.
But you make good points. Eric, who is the GOAT? Is it Christopher Nolan, or is there someone else? And I'm actually doing this so I can give Edgar to sit on this for a little bit because I'm curious to hear from Edgar as well.
I'm nervous for what Edgar's going to say. Actually,
Okay. Albert makes a case for Quentin Tarantino because that is a name that everybody has heard as well. I'm not so sure, and I don't have the data, but I'm not so sure when you look at Quentin Tarantino's films, when you look at it from a revenue standpoint, I would be shocked if it was higher than Christopher Nolan. I would be blown away. I kind of look at Quentin Tarantino and his following as more of like a sect of people.
Mhm.
And if you're wondering what I mean by that, a sect is like typically it's reused in religious terms. It's a group of people that are of a somewhat of a different religious beliefs, right? Typically regarded as like heretics. Okay, that is Quentin Tarantino's base. It is like a sect. It is a very defined group of people. It is not a large group of people, I would say. It's a very defined group of people that are dedicated to him. I'm going to stand by Steven Spielberg because you dig deep into his filmography. You go back to Jaws, you go to Jurassic Park, Indiana Jones. I mean, the list goes, E.T., the list goes on and on and on with Steven Spielberg, okay? Now, Spielberg was a lot of action adventure, science fiction, right? So his range was, I don't like to say limited, but he really stuck in a certain range of movies. But these were such impactful movies over the course of many decades, many decades. Billion-dollar box office movies, right? I don't believe that Quentin Tarantino has ever had a billion-dollar box office film. That doesn't make it bad, but I don't think he ever has. Christopher Nolan has had billion-dollar box office hits, okay? I look at Spielberg as Michael Jordan. I look at Christopher Nolan as Tom Brady. And I see Quentin Tarantino as Allen Iverson.
Oh, he is.
Extraordinary talent.
Okay.
Carried the Philadelphia 76ers to a finals appearance, but just didn't quite have enough to do it.
I disagree.
Just didn't quite have enough.
Can I
You
ask?
knew he was.
Can I ask
You
a
knew he had the
question?
talent. Sure.
So when we were talking about Christopher Nolan from the last decade, like how you think he's greatness, the main argument for you and Josh is that his storytelling is so good. He makes movies that you can immerse yourself into. Now that we're opening it up to all these other directors, I feel like there's a shift with Christopher Nolan where you're saying like, well, Christopher Nolan's made billion-dollar movies, but does that mean that he's a good director? Is if he makes billion-dollar movies?
It's a great
Is this
question.
an Eric question?
Yeah.
Or is
Great
this,
question. I want to answer this. Quentin Tarantino has a very expansive vocabulary with the way he writes his dialogue. It is like nothing you've ever seen.
Right.
But I also think it is very hard for people to understand. And this is why I say it's like a sect. It is a very specific crowd. Okay? There is no doubt that his writing and the way he creates a story from scratch is phenomenal. But I think it's very hard to digest. And I don't think it's as appealing to people as you think it might be. I know a lot of people who have watched Quentin Tarantino films and they just can't quite grasp it. They just can't. Yes, when you are producing $1 billion movie, I'd say you did pretty well. Whether it's justified or not, you did it. How many people can say that? Not a lot.
Ryan Coogler.
There is not a lot. Okay? We talked about Ryan Coogler. He's getting there. I think it's early. We're talking about early in his phase. Because now we're going back like who's the greatest ever. Ryan Coogler is just a speck on the timeline here. I'm going with Steven Spielberg. He's not been as active because he's older now. But he paved the way. He pioneered great filmmaking. Blockbuster movies. He is the reason you went to a movie theater. Back when it was a movie theater. He is the reason for that. And I think Christopher Nolan is now this kind of the second coming of that. Like, you have a reason to go to the movies because you know by going to his movie at the theater is going to enhance the experience. I don't think that Quentin Tarantino is enhanced by the movie theater. I think you can watch it at home, but you can watch it, you can adapt it at home easier than going to the theater where you need to have massive enhance the visual experience.
The only reason why I disagree is because I have gone to a Quentin Tarantino movie in the theaters and have it be enhanced by going to the theater. And that movie is The Hateful Eight. I remember watching a special screening of it at AMC. I believe it was at Westminster, the Westminster AMC. They had it with I think it was like the Panavision 7mm like screening of the film. You go in, they gave you pamphlets with all the characters' names on it, little backstories to them. They had an overture for the film. An overture is like an opening, you know, with the music playing and everything. They even had an intermission for the film where they would stop the movie halfway for everyone to get up, go to use the bathroom, whatever. And people were like talking about the film, like, "Oh, who do you think did it? Who poisoned the coffee pot? Blah blah blah, this and that." That's something that you only get from a Quentin Tarantino movie. I have not seen a screening of a Christopher Nolan movie where it's enhanced by going to the theater, other than sound design and other than it being an IMAX.
That's what Christopher Nolan said about that movie.
Okay, Edgar.
Albert, you're in the sect, though.
I am in the, but that doesn't discount what I'm saying here. That does not discount what I'm saying.
So
That's,
I'm gonna make a
sect. Hold on, Josh. Hold on.
Yeah.
I hear what you're saying, Alberto.
Mm-hmm.
You are not wrong, but you're in a smaller. That group is smaller than you realize. Most people,
I
can't do that.
So Edgar handed me his phone here. This might be a little lengthy, but I'm going to read this. Christopher Nolan is such a fan of Quentin Tarantino's The Hateful Eight that he hosted a 2015 award screening for the Western drama for the Directors Guild of America. Nolan started his post-screening discussion with Tarantino by asking the audience, "Well, that's a hell of a movie, isn't it?" Nolan was an outspoken fan of the movie's roadshow presentation in which The Hateful Eight screened in 70mm formats. What an incredible thing and an incredible way to bring back the atmosphere and the beauty of seeing a film in theater. Watching this film, it felt like it had an increased level of formalism. There's a real calm and thought for where the camera is always. It's also in the music. That is a great sense of the history of cinema in it. That sounds a lot like someone who's in the sect too. That's Christopher Nolan, my friend.
That sounds like somebody who's actually a fan of cinema talking about.
I don't know. It sounds like a fan of Quentin Tarantino, not just cinema.
He is, and I think there are a lot of directors that are fans of each other. I think a lot of great directors are fans of other great directors as well.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm sure Quentin Tarantino has said some great things about Steven Spielberg and also Christopher Nolan as well.
Yes.
But I will add, I think Hateful Eight was great in the movie theater. I've seen it in the movie theater as well. I think Kill Bill was actually better in the movie theater.
Okay.
That's just my own personal opinion. But I'm just saying that I do think Quentin Tarantino, his movies were made for movie theaters as well. Jackie Brown, no. So I agree with what Eric's saying as well. But I would also add to the whole, like, movies making money, directors making billions of dollars as well. Everyone has a one-hit wonder. Everyone's always going to have that one movie that makes a lot of money. But I think when there's consistency in it, that brings a level of greatness and shows a level of greatness. Christopher Nolan has been consistent.
Has Tenet made $1 billion?
I'm not sure what it made. I can check.
Yeah, check.
Because that one came out during the pandemic.
That one came out during the pandemic.
Yeah.
So, yeah, is that really fair to say? But I can check for you guys if you want to know.
I'm just curious about, because Tenet is the one that feels like is like an outlier. If we're discussing the movies that came in the last decade, I feel like Tenet. That's why I feel like Tenet wasn't his best work. You know.
Yeah, I would argue. I would agree with that. Actually, I wouldn't say it's his best work. It grossed $365 million.
Okay. What about Oppenheimer? I'm just curious.
I think that one did more.
That one probably did reach the $1 billion mark, I think.
Almost 975.
Damn. Okay.
What was the last movie he made that crossed $1 billion?
I think Batman, like Dark Knight.
I think that was Dark Knight Rises. Yeah.
So not consistent.
Not in billions, but they're very profitable movies.
All right.
like,
Well,
overall.
but you said billions.
But Eric said billions.
You also said it just now.
Well, I don't know. It's hard for movies to make.
Oh, now it's hard for movies to make billions.
He's very profitable. I'm not saying that. Anyways, I'm not saying that Quentin Tarantino isn't profitable and doesn't make money
Yeah.
as well. My only problem with Quentin Tarantino, though,
Mm-hmm.
is that he walks on eggshells. He really takes his time
Mm-hmm.
and to make these movies, and he only wants to make a certain amount of movies before he retires because he feels like, because he stated as well, if you make a certain amount of movies, he's going to retire.
I think that's a
He
fine
said
goal
that.
to have, though, right?
Yeah, and then you eventually don't, like, you feel like you're not a good director or something like that. I don't know about that. I feel like to me, that comes to me like he's not as daring and he's just walking on eggshells. That's just my opinion.
Okay.
If he's so talented, you should be making movies. You do what you love, right? That's why I also agree with Eric's comment on Steven Spielberg, because the guy has made a lot of great movies, ton of great movies. He's also made some bad movies as well, but he's always able to bounce back, right? So but with that, Edgar, what are your thoughts, man?
If Christopher Nolan is what, top 5 or like GOAT?
Who is GOAT?
Who's your GOAT?
And please don't
Who's the GOAT?
Don't like piggyback off of my shit. Like,
No, I already said who is my GOAT. And I
Quentin
think
Tarantino?
no. What's his name?
Paul Thomas Anderson.
Yes.
Who is it? What's his name? You know his name? Oh my god. I already know who my GOAT is. Don't know the name though. What's the name of the movies?
I just did.
What is it?
I saw the devil.
He's your
Thursday
favorite
Live.
director?
Yeah, he is.
He's the GOAT?
To me, yeah.
Edgar, this is the equivalent
Look.
of you giving us your top 5 horror movies of all time.
Well, like with Eric just said, in the directors we just mentioned, like Quentin Tarantino, my directors, and all that, I feel those are small groups of people, like when they were saying. As with Steven Spielberg, like that one is like, how do you say, it's more
accessible.
Yes, accessible for people to watch. As with these ones, you have to have a unique taste of film, basically. That's why.
Does that make greatness? Unique taste, does that make greatness?
No, I'm just saying that's what these directors have.
Is a unique taste.
Why is he better than Bong Joon-ho?
Did I just say why? I say he touched every genre of film. He did horror, he did action, thriller, comedy.
So did he.
Parasite is actually considered, I think, a comedy.
Which is
It's considered a comedy as well. And he actually branched out of Korea and came to the U.S.
Oof.
and did American movies.
Why didn't you choose fucking Bong Joon?
Well, look what his American film was. The last one, Ricky 17. He didn't do that great. As with my
Have you seen
guy,
it?
he sticks
Yes,
to his own lane. He hasn't come on,
You stick to his own lane.
Snowpiercer was a great movie.
Which one?
Snowpiercer is a great movie.
No,
It's a great American
I have to
movie.
agree with that. Yeah, that's a great one.
It's a great American movie.
I think everything else is. I think your body's telling you that Bong Joon-ho is actually the better director. You just don't want to retract it, and that's okay. You can retract it. That's totally fine.
Ain't that how it just seems to me like you guys are talking about taste, unique taste of film?
No, we're talking about low-hanging fruit, the obvious.
This is why I chose
And-
Ryan Coogler, because I think he fucking changed the culture of filmmaking. I don't think Christopher Nolan done that in the last decade. Ryan Coogler has.
I have to agree.
I don't think Ryan Coogler elevated cinema as much as Christopher Nolan did.
In the past
unfortunately.
decade?
I think in general too. In the past
man.
decade, like, you can't tell me that Black Panther 1 and 2 elevated cinema.
One did.
One definitely. Look, I'm not saying it changed cinema. I think it changed.
Which one elevated cinema?
It
No.
elevated pop culture. It elevated entertainment.
Okay, out of the two?
Okay,
Black Panther 1 and 2. Which one elevated cinema?
Black Panther, the first Black Panther movie, because it brought not just audiences together, but it also brought the African American audiences together. They're the reason why that shit dominated the fucking box office. That movie was for them. They felt represented in that movie.
It made it a good movie. That movie was a recycled hash of every Marvel movie where a king or the main character is humbled, has to come back, and then fight a villain that is wearing the same costume as him. And you're telling me that movie elevated cinema? Just because they replaced the people in the background with different color skin?
Josh, it's not this movie came out also before Infinity War, and this movie fucking made $1 billion in the isn't that what you guys like care about with Christopher Nolan? He made Ryan Coogler made $1 billion. Also, may I add, every movie that Christopher Nolan has made in the past decade, those actors never won from their fucking from their roles. Ryan Coogler elevated his actors. Michael B. Jordan won Best Actor for fucking Sinners. You don't see that with Christopher Nolan's films. You don't see Leonardo DiCaprio winning Best Actor from Inception. You didn't see that when Tenet. You don't see that with Oppenheimer.
I think those are compelling arguments, and I think you make a good point. I just think his pool is too small, and I also think timing is everything. I don't think Black Panther is a great movie. I think what it did for the culture base was actually great. I do agree with that. Doesn't make it a good movie, unfortunately. I would say Wakanda Forever is 100 times better of a movie than actually Black Panther.
Out of here.
Well, so then I would say that Christopher Nolan making consistent movies that make a lot of money doesn't make his movies good. I honestly would say that's my argument then. Because like you guys keep saying, it's really good storytelling. Then tell me what about Tenet really touched you.
Why do you keep going back to Tenet?
Okay, tell me what about Interstellar touched you? What about it impacted you so much? Because I can tell you because that's my favorite movie.
Okay, so the relationship with his daughter, right, was one thing. That's the lowest hanging fruit. I'm not going to just talk about the stories itself, but what makes Prestige, Memento, Inception, minus the Dark Knight trilogy, okay? These movies here, what made these Christopher Nolan movies so great was that when you left the movie theater, you talked about these movies for days.
So what time
you talked about what was the ending, what was the story, where were they going, what was true, what was not, what were they trying to do, like the impact of just talking about these movies made it so great. I
don't know,
I don't even know why I'm arguing for Christopher Nolan so much right now because
you brought the topic.
But
also,
that is my piece.
Can I also say, like you said that it's not an original movie. Black Panther is about you heard this before and blah blah blah. If that
it is the same typical Marvel movie.
Yes, but hold on.
That they do over and over.
Okay.
Again.
Yes. So does that mean that Dark Knight Rises is a good movie? Because The Dark Knight Rises is the same fucking plot as Black Panther.
Dark Knight Rises?
Yeah, same thing happens. Bane beats the shit out of Batman. Sure, but it's formulaic now, isn't it?
Came out first, so apparently Black Panther, you just discredited it even more. You devalued Black Panther
if
more.
If I did, then why did you not want to include Dark Knight or The Dark Knight Rises in your arguments then?
I think it's just low-hanging fruit just because it's just
everything's low-hanging fruit now. I want to know what makes Christopher Nolan great. God. Other than he makes $1 billion, which he hasn't, because none of his past movies has made $1 billion. So why is he great? Why is he great? He's adapting movies from books. Odyssey's from a book.
I apologize. So Quentin Tarantino let's go back to Quentin Tarantino.
Okay.
Christopher Nolan hasn't made billions of dollars. Give me one Quentin Tarantino movie that made $1 billion.
But that's not what I'm arguing. I'm not arguing that he made $1 billion.
That you brought it up, right? And now
Because
you're talking about
that's your argument. That's your argument. I'm saying Quentin
I'm not even saying
Tarantino
that.
makes original
Eric
movies.
you need to ask that to Eric. Eric was the one that actually talked about how he's the moneymaker. Ask it to Eric.
Yeah, pass it to Eric.
All right, Eric.
Actually, I'm trying to understand Edgar's topic.
Edgar's
I'm on the fucking moon, okay?
Yeah,
I admit it. I'm on the
Edgar
fucking moon.
Doesn't know who the fuck his favorite director
Yeah, I
is,
don't.
okay? Eric, let's come on. All right, let's lock in here. All right.
I think the one who did $1 billion is his boy.
I can answer some of this for you. Okay, so just
Please
bear
do.
with me.
Yes.
We're arguing about a handful of really great directors. Okay, all of them. I'm going to throw another name in here. James Cameron. Okay. Do you guys know who has the most billion-dollar films in a theater?
James Cameron.
James Cameron. That number is at 4.
Okay.
That is a small number. It's the most all time.
Yeah.
Can you guess what those movies are?
The Titanic, Avatar, probably Terminator 2, and maybe Avatar the sequel.
So it's all pre-Avatar, and it's Titanic.
Okay.
Steven Spielberg, this guy, had 3 $2 billion exceeding gross in 3 different decades.
Okay.
The 70s with Jaws, 80s with E.T., the 90s with Jurassic Park. Okay? There's no debating, well, maybe there's debating, but there's no doubt James Cameron and Steven Spielberg were phenomenal in their day. They made great movies. If you want to nitpick the stories, fine. Go ahead. But they made great movies that people enjoy and still talk about to this day. The revenue speaks for itself. Christopher Nolan has $2 billion box office films. You guess what they are?
I'm going to assume the first one's The Dark Knight.
Okay, that is correct. Do you know the second one?
I'm going to probably say Interstellar.
I'm going to say Inception.
Nope.
Dark Knight Rises.
His highest box office film is The Dark Knight Rises.
Okay.
Okay.
Comic book movies.
Quentin Tarantino's highest grossing box office film is, can you guess?
I'm going to probably say
Django.
It is Django. Can you guess what it was?
I'm going to probably say somewhere in like the 100 million.
You got to give him more credit than that.
Yeah, come on.
All right. 500.
426 million.
Okay.
And that's a lot for that kind of movie.
Yeah.
And that was a great movie.
Right.
And look, Albert, where I do agree with you, Quentin Tarantino, I said it already, he has such a range, his story writing, and it is inspiring. Look at Kevin Smith. When you have these directors that are speaking highly amongst each other, this is just the boys club scratching each other's back at the end of the day. It's really nothing. They're all working in the same industry. They support each other. Filmmakers, they support each other. Actors, they support each other. It is a very prestigious club. It is a very hard industry to be in. So to say that Christopher Nolan is saying all these great things about Tarantino and Tarantino is saying all these great things about whoever, that's great. But these guys know each other, okay? It's not a big deal. It's really not.
Okay. We can
But
discount that.
at the end of the day, these are all great movies. And when you look at the success of them, there's something to be said about that. There really is. There's something to be said about it. And it's funny because when you think about James Cameron, we named his top 4 of terms of the grossing, but that doesn't even include like Terminator 2, Aliens, right? We've got just such a great range of films. And I think that Spielberg started it in the 70s. He's making a $2 billion box office movie in the 70s?
That's
I'll give you
and
that.
that's
I'll
why
give you that.
In
Yeah.
the 80s? And then he does it again in the 90s? Like, Are those movies? Are they written like Tarantino's writing? No, they're not.
Yeah.
But they are still well made. They still have a great story. Still very well written. When we talk about great, Albert. You mentioned, well, what about the actors and getting elevated to getting the best actor award or the best picture, dude? Name the last 10 best pictures, right? These are like little niche movies that are typically not a lot of people have heard of or have even seen or even thought to see. So that's like its own category, and it doesn't make sense to me because I think more people want to go see Captain America's Civil War than they want to see a guy fucking a fish or whatever. That's just the truth.
Oh, Guillermo del Toro. Yeah.
That's still a great movie, Eric. You need to watch it.
It doesn't matter.
I just, to me, like the argument of like, oh, because it made $1 billion, it makes it a good movie. I just don't agree with that. I don't agree with that.
So, first off, I'm going to add to this.
Yeah.
Hold on. There's only been 6 directors that are in the $1 billion club.
Okay.
There's only 6 directors, so the pool is very small. James Cameron,
Yeah.
the Russo brothers, Steven Spielberg, Christopher Nolan, Peter Jackson, Michael Bay.
Okay.
And Michael Bay
has no
is
business being in
not,
there.
and yeah,
He's an
right.
outlier.
So yes, and to retract what we were talking about, like making millions of dollars, right? It's, directors that consistently make a profit on their movies.
Right. Okay.
That has a lot to do with it, right? Because you can make a movie for 100 million and it does 300 million. It was profitable.
Yeah.
Right. And because I think Christopher Nolan he's in that category of always being profitable. That's what I mean when he doesn't miss. I agree with you. Quentin Tarantino is in that category as well. But I think Eric makes a great argument because Steven Spielberg has such a long list, of movies. He's also a director that actually walked away and doesn't really work with Hollywood. He does things his own way. He refuses to work with the corporation, so you have to give him credit for that. And to do a movie $2 billion in the 70s, which was, that means like everybody in the world watched that movie at that time, probably.
Yeah.
Oh,
If you think
so
about
many
that.
people.
Like nobody missed that movie when it came out. I would agree. Steven Spielberg is the GOAT, in my opinion.
Okay. Yeah, that's a fair argument. I can see that. I just, when I think of the GOAT, I think of movies that have a lasting impact on me, especially as a writer. Josh, you can agree to this. I mean, like Eric was mentioning, James Cameron. Avatar. Is it a perfect movie? Some people may consider it, but I don't care for it. I know you don't care for it.
Yeah.
Titanic.
Movie.
Titanic is $1 billion movie. It's a well-made movie. I don't care for that movie either.
It's a perfect movie too.
It's a perfect movie, yeah. But like, I'm not gonna walk away feeling like it left a lasting impact on me. When Tarantino movies, I'm always gonna walk away feeling like, yeah, that was pretty fucking good. Like it left me wanting to go back to that theater and watch it.
Albert,
Yeah,
so I really hate to interrupt. It grosses me out to do that, and I'm really sorry.
that's okay.
Titanic is the greatest romance. I mean, that is
What is?
Which one?
Titanic.
Oh, Titanic.
Like a romance movie with. I mean, it's a simple idea, but it's something that is just in our souls.
Yeah.
Right. A lot of people grow up. There, you were longing for someone, some kind of story with another person, right? That connection it's always just something that's rooted in people.
Yeah.
And the way that one was delivered was sensational. And so I understand it's hard to say a romance is great because it's one of these internal personal feelings that you may have about someone that you know, or whatever it might be, and you don't want them to know, and so it's like very personal.
Yeah.
And I think that they delivered that on an unbelievable grand scale.
Yeah. Okay.
Heartbreak, and so it doesn't fall into the category of what you're into. And I actually really love what you said about the writing, and I really appreciate that, because I read your book, one of your books. I can see your writing and the impact that it has on you. And I enjoyed it, and you created this great story that I couldn't have thought of. I can't,
I appreciate that. I appreciate it.
And so that's a real thing for you, and I think that is a huge factor in how you feel, and I think that you should. And it's the same with Edgar and how he feels about the movies he watches. Like, who cares if it's not Christopher Nolan or Spielberg? Like, it gravitates to him from a certain way, and you should have that feeling. As we look at it from just like a broad perspective, just kind of debating it.
Yeah.
It's not close to me with what Steven Spielberg has done, or James Cameron.
I agree.
All right.
Guys like Christopher Nolan exist because of that. They exist because of that.
Okay.
I agree.
So if we were, and that's a great.
Yeah, Eric said it well.
You said that
I think so. Yeah, that's perfect.
Yeah, and I think you have to give these guys flowers, right? And you have to, like, man, Steven Spielberg has. It's no debate, right? He is the GOAT. Can we agree with that?
Yep.
Steven Spielberg?
Edgar, you said yep.
Yeah.
Talk a little
Spielberg?
bit,
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Oh, what? Sorry. Wait, sorry. What?
Oh, fuck's sake.
No, like, you say he's the GOAT. Talk about. We haven't heard from you a little bit.
Yeah. Come down from the moon. Come with us humans here. Fucking talk about.
No, what Eric said. Like, all his films are impactful. He touched every genre. He can do no wrong. This guy, Albert. So yeah, I agree what he said. He is a GOAT. He's at least a top 5.
Okay.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen Schindler's List?
Except for that one.
So you made a good point, Eric, about Titanic. Schindler's List had that same type of feeling to it too, for its time, and being a history movie about the Holocaust and things like that too.
Yeah.
So, that was a strong point, Eric.
I think that's a good point to kind of tie this whole topic together a little bit as we come to.
But I want to end it with one thing.
That's fine. Go ahead.
Mount Rushmore of directors.
I was hoping you'd bring that up. Yes, that's fine. I was hoping you'd bring it up.
Steven Spielberg.
Yep.
Christopher Nolan.
No.
We're not putting Christopher Nolan on it.
No.
Are you putting Christopher Nolan there?
No.
Josh or Eric, are you putting Christopher Nolan on there?
I am. But we'll take him off if you guys disagree with me.
I'm going to go with Cameron after.
Okay, yeah. If you're the only one, Josh, we have to take him out.
Steven Spielberg, James Cameron, which is interesting because we didn't really talk much about James Cameron.
I know.
Wes Anderson.
Wes Anderson. I'm going to put Quentin Tarantino on there.
We can't put Quentin Tarantino on there. We can't do Christopher Nolan. We can't do Quentin Tarantino.
Okay. Stanley Kubrick.
I hate to say that.
Oh.
What?
Who?
Stanley Kubrick. Do you not know who Stanley Kubrick is?
We made no mention of Stanley Kubrick. Why are we talking about that?
We're talking about the Mount Rushmore of greatest directors.
I know.
The Shining, 2001: A Space Odyssey,
Clockwork Orange.
Clockwork Orange. Are we not going to consider him one of the GOATs?
Full Metal Jacket.
Yeah, Full Metal Jacket.
Do you not want to put Stanley Kubrick on there?
Yeah, by the way, this is redundant, but
we can't put Quentin Tarantino on there, even though I talked about him the whole podcast.
I think Spielberg is the only one on this list too that had a Best Picture. Saving Private Ryan.
That's a good point.
I know we've already put him on the Mount Rushmore, but just I'm putting that out there.
Like you're cementing it. You're saying you're cementing
yes,
it.
like he had that too.
Right.
You know?
So right now it's James Cameron, it's Steven Spielberg.
So 2001 Odyssey, Clockwork Orange, The Shining
The Full Metal Jacket.
were his only good movies.
So you don't want to
And
put
the
him on
guy
there?
did no.
Okay. All right. That's fine.
He has a
That's
long
fine.
he actually has a long list of movies, and
That's okay.
the guy did Eyes Wide Shut.
Have
you guys seen that
Martin
movie?
Scorsese? Are we putting him on the Mount Rushmore?
Oh. I think we have to.
I think
Mean
he
Streets,
broke out on the scene as the same
Taxi
time as
Driver.
Steven Spielberg.
Goodfellas, The Departed.
Mean Streets, Taxi Driver.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Casino.
you said The Departed.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
Raging
Goodfellas,
Bull.
dude. Goodfellas. Come on, what that movie did and continues to do for the fucking for pop culture. Should we put him on that on the Mount
Can't
Rushmore?
believe we didn't even talk about this guy. Jesus.
Josh?
Eric?
I this is tough because we're leaving out. By the way, I think Titanic won Best Picture, didn't it?
It did.
Okay, so Cameron's got one.
Yeah, I mean he's in the Mount Rushmore though. Where he's good.
Yeah, I know. But
Yeah.
I just,
Good.
James
if
Cameron,
Cameron, I had to say
Steven
it.
Spielberg, Michael Bay. Just kidding.
I think Nolan's gonna have to go on there.
No. We can't put him on there.
We're
I
saying,
agree. I think he has to be on there.
Then Quentin Tarantino has to be on there.
see?
Josh, you have
Quentin
to
Tarantino
compromise.
has to be on there. What about Guillermo del Toro?
We're skipping Martin Scorsese here.
I think we are. I mean,
Jesus Christ.
no one's.
What kind of podcast we have then? Jeez.
I would actually agree with Martin Scorsese's.
Yeah.
I would put him on there. So
It's,
who's our fourth? I actually agree with Martin Scorsese's. Wolf of Wall Street.
Yeah, I mean those movies are great, man. I mean, how can we not put Quentin Tarantino on there?
Quentin Tarantino it is.
Quentin Tarantino. I don't know if I agree with that one.
I don't know
Okay,
if
so
I
I
agree
don't
with
know if
Christopher
I agree
Nolan on
with
that.
that one.
So who we have then?
James Cameron, Steven Spielberg, Martin Scorsese, and Quentin Tarantino. But we're kind of
So the fourth one's
Like-
the one. Okay.
But I will compromise. I will put Quentin Tarantino on there just because it's tough for me because I am a fan.
yeah.
I love his movies. But he's not talked about a lot. And I agree with Eric. He has a cult following.
Oh man,
You know, I don't like this. Like
this one's tough because I don't know, man. I mean,
like you. It is so easy for you to talk about him because
Yeah.
he is like on that like level. You said he was the GOAT, but man, the guy walks on eggshells, in my opinion. You know, like Reservoir Dogs has aged, and a lot of people don't talk about it. I hate to say that.
Alfred
And to
Hitchcock.
me, that's not even an old
We're
movie.
not putting Alfred Hitchcock on there.
Psycho, Birds.
Oh man, he was the actually.
You know what these directors have? You know what they all have in common? A lot of them.
They're old.
No. That we're talking about that are on the Mount Rushmore. Many of them have used a particular actor,
Leonardo DiCaprio.
Leonardo DiCaprio.
Yep.
Wait, what did he use with James Cameron? Oh, that's
That's
right,
Titanic.
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 Yeah. That's right.
Titanic. Steven Spielberg, Aviator.
Yeah.
They've all used Leonardo DiCaprio.
That's
we're missing
fun.
out.
So we can't do Quentin Tarantino because
Yeah.
we don't use.
We got
Leonardo.
Ridley
He did.
Scott. Not
He
Ridley
did.
Scott.
He did Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. We have our mouth.
All right. Okay. All right. I mean, look.
Tarantino
That's
used Used them twice. No.
Does that make Leonardo DiCaprio the GOAT?
Fuck yeah.
Or maybe they're smart and they know what.
He's
There's-
very
I think-
versatile, this guy.
I think he might be the best.
Yeah.
You know who also used Leonardo DiCaprio?
Martin Scorsese.
Christopher Nolan.
Oh,
Christopher Nolan.
that's right. That is true.
We'll end it at that. Close this out.
All right. Yeah. I look. We can sit here talking about this all day, and I'm sure at some point we'll revisit this list when more of these movies come out from all these directors we've talked about. But please leave us a comment down below in the video. Tell us who your GOAT is. Is it Steven Spielberg? Is it Quentin Tarantino? Is it Ryan Coogler? We would love to hear your thoughts.
Oh, yeah, no, don't name any of the ones I fucking...
Nope, none of them are going to be mentioned, except for Bong Joon-ho. That's the only one that really matters, and you should have stuck with that one. So thank you guys for listening to Show Us Your Basement. Once again, use that checkout code for BlueChew.com. 10% off your next order.
Josh is
We
on
really
it,
appreciate
so
it.
he'll let us know next time.
Exactly. And Eric, as always, please go ahead and send us off.
We are 2 weeks away from seeing AJ Brown traded. Go Birds.
Go Birds.
Go Birds.